Alrighty, in this very important video, we're going to be going over how to add 7 figures in annual revenue and lower your cost per acquisition by up to 50% for your e-commerce brand with this welcome flow. We're going to talk about a lot of things here, so hang tight. This is probably the most value I've ever given away at once. So let's get into it. The email welcome flow, and this is the condensed version. So yeah, as far as me, I'm Max. I'm the founder of Wellcopy, an email marketing agency. It's generated over $20 million in email attributed revenue for clients. I live inside of Shopify and Klaviyo, and this doc is going to be in the description, so you have all these other resources, and you can just have this for yourself, keep it, steal it, whatever you want to do. This is a shortened version of the full document. If you want the full one, then you can go to my site right there. But as far as what's inside and what we are going to cover in this, going to go over why this is important, the problem with many welcome flows, full 8 email flow outline that we've used to generate over $3 million ourselves. Explanations, examples, diagrams, subject lines, full copy templates for all 8 emails, Google Doc templates that you can literally copy and paste and use yourself. We're going to go over how to install it in Klaviyo, how to optimize it over time, and then the metrics that you want to shoot for this welcome flow. So first, let's talk a little bit about why this is important and why you need to get this installed ASAP as possible, whatever that means. ASAP as possible, yeah. As soon as possible is possible. All right, so rising cost of acquisition. So you don't just snap your fingers, of course, and get people to buy. People need to know you exist, and then they need to trust you enough to purchase. So what do? You buy traffic to bring in eyes and get people to your website. But just like this graphic shows us, the 51-cent cost per click customer that you just paid for, a lot of the times they're just going to go in and leave. But let's first break down the 2 problems that cause a rising cost of acquisition. The first problem, buying traffic is expensive. Mr. Zuckerberg can charge whatever he wants for ads, and we are forced to pay up. What are we going to do? Turn off our ads? No, we have to pay up, and we have to pay for these ads. And then the second problem, it is very, very hard to get somebody to purchase the first time they see you. This is a 2024 thing. This is just increasing over time. You're paying for this site traffic with ads, and then people are leaving because of a couple reasons. They have fried attention spans, and they have the ability to check out thousands of new brands out there. Actually, millions. There's a couple million e-commerce brands out there. And so you're paying for the site traffic, you're paying for these ads, and people are leaving until they see you again and again, which is from more ads to the point they buy. So you're forced to buy a ton of ads to get people to come back because of their terrible attention spans, and they just want to go to your site just to check it out because there's so many options out there. So like this beautiful graphic, very advanced graphic that is very scientific, this is exactly what happens. And that is why cost of acquisition rises. So summary, buying traffic is expensive. You have to buy these ads multiple times to get people to buy. Cost of acquisition rises. And most people aren't ready to buy. So 2% of your site traffic, let's just look at this full funnel. You run ads on Facebook, you get this amount of people, say you get 10% of people to click onto the website viewers right here, people with objections, and then people ready to buy. Out of this whole entire thing, only 2 people will be ready to buy, and they'll give you money right now. So what are they saying? 2% of your site traffic. I've seen this brand a few times. They've shown their product is legit. I'm confident I will receive my product. This is great timing because I actually need this product right now. Whereas 98% of your site traffic, who is this brand? Are they real? Are they going to scam me? Does the product actually work? Is their product any good? Is this product worth the price? And that's just what everybody's thinking, because when there weren't many options out there, then you could get away with some stuff. But now there are thousands of other brands. People are going to have a ton of objections. That's just how it goes. So what do we need to do? We need to cross the trust threshold. So you're paying for ads and website traffic, hoping that people will buy, but most just won't. These people do not know who you are. And the modern customer is wary. They're wary of all the scams out there, and they know that they're not guaranteed their product. Plus, they like to shop around and look at all the cool new brands that are out there popping up. There are so many TikTok ads happening, so many cool brands, edgy marketers, whatever you want to say, all these other brands that people can check out that are pretty cool. Now, to actually hand you their credit card, they need to trust you and your product completely. So, people need to see you multiple times in order to make a decision. You need to overcome these objections before they can buy. Back in the day, could have at times gotten away with just chucking up an ad creative, tossing some money in it, getting people to buy at a high clip. Now that is not possible. So you can see this is the trust threshold, and so it's a very simple graph here. First brand introduction, number of times exposed to a brand, not ready to purchase, ready to purchase. If people see you multiple times, then they just inherently are going to trust you. Then it becomes a question, how do you get people to see you multiple times? Which we will address in a second. First, we're going to talk about overcoming objections to lead to a purchase. What gets you over the trust threshold? You need to overcome these objections. Who is this brand? Are they real? Are they going to scam me? Does their product work? Is their product any good? Is this product worth the price? Bottom line, you need to prove to the customer that you can handle all these objections. It's not like you can go up to their door and give them a sales pitch just because that's not scalable. And it would be extremely expensive to hire all those door-to-door salesmen. You have to send content at scale to convince these wary buyers and these curious buyers of other brands to purchase. You have to send content because you don't have the door-to-door salesman. And so here's what we have just to level up your prospects. This is at a very base level. Level 1, I do not know or trust this brand. You send them content. They level up into an intrigue customer. Oh yeah, I've seen this brand before. They seem legit. You send them content again. They level up, and then they become level 3 interested. I like this brand, but I'm not fully there yet, and then send them more, and then eventually they become, I like and trust this brand, and I'm ready to buy. So, we know we need to send content. Now, how do you send content at scale so that you can reach hundreds of thousands of people? Many just resort solely to paid ads to get in people's faces for the content, and that's great. Paid ads are great. People see your ads, click onto your site, look around, see testimonials, and you earn trust points. The problem is that these ads are expensive, and these will drive up your cost of acquisition as we have discussed. Because again, the customer is wary and doesn't want to buy off you right off the bat. They don't trust you. It's going to take them more than a few ads to actually get them to buy, and with each ad you're showing them, you're spending money. So this leads us into the different ways you can send content, which of course you can do Facebook, which is expensive, or you could go with a cheaper option, which of course is email, the point of this video. So using the cheapest method for crossing the trust threshold. We want to be able to send content in the cheapest way possible to overcome objections. That's our only way to drive down our cost of acquisition. We have to send content, might as well do it the cheapest way possible. Social media ads are great because everybody checks social media every day. It's one of the benefits of having paid ads. But as we discussed, they're expensive. What else does everybody check every day? Their email. Over 4 billion global users of email, and over 90% of the US population checks their email every single day. And on top of that, it's pennies to the dollar compared to social media ads. On average, for every $1 on paid ads, you get $2 back. That's a 2x ROAS, return on ad spend. On average, for every $1 spent on email, you get $44 back. So look at that. Here's a pretty little graph, simple math for you. So we must get people on our email list because look at that ROI. And the thing is, just like to drive this home even further, like why the ROI is so much more, this is kind of what it looks like when you have people with objections. So say we go back to that top graphic, we had 98% of people. This is 98. Doesn't look like 98, but trust me, that's 98 out of 100. 2 people were ready to purchase, but everybody else has objections. And so you send them content. So you can do that with Facebook, spend some money, and essentially they're going to have the same conversions, and you're going to get this many people ready to buy. And then you keep doing this until you overcome everybody's objections, and you go down the line, and then you repeat until you have everybody. The thing is, you spend a lot less money down this track than you did with this track. It's pretty simple there, pretty simple to understand there. That's why it's so important to have. So too long didn't read. Email is the most cost-effective way to overcome objections and convert skeptical buyers at scale. That's what we need to understand. So we need to get people to our email list after they've been introduced into our brand. Let me take a quick drink of water, 1 second. Wary buyers, tons of different stores out there people can choose from, and people aren't going to buy right when they see your site. So you need to capture their information and send them emails so that you don't have to spend a ton on paid ads. So how do we get people to sign up? Most are going to come from pop-up forms. These are the forms that will show up on your site after a time delay, offering some sort of incentive for your email. You can do a lead magnet, such as like giving away a free course or something like that to get people to join, and then they enter into your funnel. Or you can do like discounts. That's the easiest way to do it. Pop-up forms are huge for email marketing, and the ROI is very well worth it having a high converting pop-up form. We're not going to talk about forms in this resource, but I will have an in-depth guide on pop-ups soon because they are one of the most important pieces of the e-commerce funnel. But here are just some examples just to give you some context. So we're going to talk about the welcome flow in this video. And so for the people who do enter your email list, we're going to be sending them to welcome flow. That's what we're talking about in this doc, and I'm going to be giving you all the emails. But first I want to talk about what happens to non-buyers, because that's like a common objection. It's like, why the welcome flow? Like, what happens when people don't buy? Now, many recipients won't buy, and that's okay, just because people aren't always ready to buy, even when you overcome objections. You have to catch them at the right time. So the welcome flow has two purposes: to convert as many people as possible right off the bat, so once somebody opts into the email list. Then also the other purpose is to prime potential customers to make a purchase down the line. So we want to convert them, or we want to prime them, cross all those objections, so that when they do have that need for your product, or they randomly are going about their day and they're like, oh, I kind of want this, like, they're ready to buy at that moment. And because they will. So it's important you're constantly reminding them of you and your product so that you can stay top of mind for when they do have a strong enough need for your product. So here's kind of how it looks. They enter the welcome flow. We're going to convert a lot of them. That's the purpose of this video, is the welcome flow, which is going to lower your cost of acquisition. And then we're also going to be sending them, once they're on the email list, 3 to 4 educational email campaigns per week. That's going to continue to keep you top of mind so that when people do have that need to buy your product, you're in their face. Alrighty, and I just record 45 minutes worth of footage that wasn't videoed, so resuming right back where we left off, and I'm restarting. So you get the second go. But yeah, so we just talked about you send 3 to 4 educational campaigns per week. And then we also have our abandonment flows, which we have set up. I have other videos for these abandonment videos for you to check out. But essentially we have the site abandon, browse abandon, cart abandon, and checkout abandon for these people who, if during the welcome flow or after one of these email campaigns, or just in general, if they see like a social media post or they think about your product, they go to your site, check out a product, and then leave it behind. We have these emails, these high converting emails, to convert them. So we have these three things kind of like working in tandem together that are going to help you get purchases. But really the point of these educational email campaigns are to continue to give value to them. Again, I'll have other videos on this, but eventually to lead them to get to the point of buying or abandoning their product, because if someone abandons their product, they're slightly down the funnel, and that's really what we want. We want somebody to abandon their product or purchase. Then they're lower in the funnel, and we'll convert them with those high intent flows, which act as cleanup crew. So now let's get to actually building a welcome flow. So we understand kind of the purpose of it, the rising cost of acquisition, why this is super important right now, what happens to non-buyers, and everything like that. Now let's talk about actually building this welcome flow, the real reason you guys came here. So this is going to be a sequence of emails sent to people who join the list over a duration of 7 to 14 days. If you have a larger average order value product, like if it's like $5,000, then you're going to want a very long welcome flow. That can be over like 2 months, because these people just have longer buying decisions. But that's kind of typically 7 to 14 days. But a dialed-in welcome flow will allow you to automate and then predictably convert customers in just the pre-purchase decision journey. And as we kind of spoke of before, the welcome flow is going to leave us with one of two outcomes. Outcome A, you're going to convert the customers who were just curious and otherwise would have left your site. They would have left, but you converted them. And outcome B, we're going to prime these future customers for purchases now that all of their objections have been addressed up front. So now, if you are running a sale or some sort of high push for getting sales, when you send those emails or you're sending those content to people, they won't have those objections in the back of their mind because they've been addressed and they've been primed for a purchase. That's the point of the welcome flow that not a lot of people talk about, because not all of it is going to show up in revenue for the welcome flow. But say you send an email campaign on a certain date, somebody who doesn't have a welcome flow might only get $5,000. Meanwhile, someone who has a welcome flow and nurtured those customers might get $7,500 out of that campaign because they got people who would have had objections primed earlier. So very important. Now, the problem with many welcome flows, like you probably have a welcome flow if you're an e-commerce brand, you probably have at least one email. But the issue with many welcome flows is that they are way too short in length, but too dense in information. Some brands will try to throw all their information in 2 to 3 emails, each being super dense. But the modern customer has a fried attention span and just isn't going to read a bunch of junk. They're not going to read any words. They need short, bite-sized bits of information over a spread out time frame. So you can kind of see here in this is like an oversimplified version, but bad welcome flow. Here's everything you will ever need to know. Here's all this information. The customer's like, oh my goodness, I'm not even going to read this, because the truth is customers are going to spend at most 5 to 7 seconds on your email. So you need to make it super easy for them to follow, because they're just going to skim it. So instead, we want to separate our emails to a little bit longer and make it quick, bite-sized, punchy, so the person can look at it in 3 seconds and know what your point is. So just a quick email, welcome in, our brief history, here's our number one bestseller, reminder of the discount, how we're different, things like that. We just want to make it super simple for them, so we're not overwhelming them, and then it's just simple information that they can look at in 3 seconds and understand the gist, and they can leave the app and they're primed for a purchase. So that's kind of what we want to get with this welcome flow, rather than putting a ton of information, and anything over 100 words is just too much. 100 words is too much in an email. So let's go over kind of everything that we want in this flow. So trigger and filter, we have the trigger, somebody joins your email list, joins from a certain pop-up, and then filter, anybody makes a purchase. So what a filter is going to do is essentially before anyone receives any of these emails, it's going to check the filter that you set up in Klaviyo. It's going to check if people meet these parameters. And if somebody makes a purchase at any point, it's just going to kick them out, because that's a filter. So we're going to be going through each email in depth and then going through example and then giving you the outlines for each one of them. So email 1, we want to give a strong introduction. We just want to make it real quick. Deliver the incentive, introduce the brand, unique selling proposition, social proof, bestsellers. The email 1, we just want the people who are just there for the discount, let's give them everything they need and let them buy right now. Email 2, we're going to give a little bit more background, put a face to the name, because that's really going to help with conversions. We'll go a little bit more in depth, but I'll just briefly run through these. Give the brand background. 3, we're going to do a bestsellers promotion, highlight one or a few bestsellers, explain why it's so good, essentially make the choice easy for the customer. Email 4, a reminder of the incentive. We're going to make some urgency, give some risk reversals, and then some testimonials. Get those people over the line with urgency and trust. Email 5, us versus them. We'll address the competitors and then how you're different, and then distinguish yourself. Email 6, we're going to go hard on social proof if there's still people on the edge. Email 7, we're going to do last chance. And then email 8, we're going to do a note from the founder, give that personal touch, and address some more objections. So let's move right into emails 1 through 8, outlines and examples. Email 1. So email 1, the purpose, deliver a strong intro to your brand in the briefest way possible while giving them what they want, which is the discount, or whatever information, whatever giveaway you're doing to get people on the list. But the content, deliver the incentive, introduce your USPs, give some social proof, and then show bestsellers. As we discussed some notes on this email, we really want to keep things brief. People don't want to read a shit ton of information. They're, excuse my language, they just want the discount, they just want to leave. People are here for the discount. So we want the design to be simple, clean, and easy to follow. The goal is simply to get people to click. So here's a full email example from Alpin Rock. We'll go in a little bit more depth here. And here's like a general outline that you can use. I'll even give you even more than this in just a second. But you can see right at the top of this email, notice how high up this button is in this email. We don't want the consumer to have to scroll to find the button. If we didn't have this button, the customer would have to scroll to reach this button. No, we want to remove as much friction as possible. So we give them just a welcome. Here's the discount. Shop now. That's all we want. A lot of people aren't going to go to the rest of the email. They're just there for the discount. There's their shop. Let's give them what they want. And then a strong header photo that gives off the brand aesthetic so that they can, resonate with it a bit. But this is just a very strong header section that all your welcome emails should be. And then body section, this is where we're going to give just some brief background info on the brand, just a brief headline with the brand message. So this is going to be the thing that everybody's going to read. Probably like 10% of people are going to read this. They're just going to skim through this, see discover conscious luxury. So now the person, like in their head, they think of the word luxury when they see this brand. Awesome. And they think of conscious, and so it's renewable. Awesome. Perfect. Very strong. So then you go into some social proof, a unique selling proposition, reminder of the discount, and button. Keep it real simple. Headline, social proof, unique selling proposition, discount. That simple. And then we want to give people, if people don't know what they want, let's show some bestsellers, give them an option to purchase. And you can see we have some more buttons for people to keep browsing. A lot of people, they'll just end the email right here. But what if the person doesn't like these products? The consumer is lazy and they probably won't scroll up to find this button. So it's ridiculous. So you really want to make sure that you have buttons at the bottom. And so I actually have subject line examples. I believe there are 10 for this email, subject lines that you can use, as well as a free Google Doc copy outline that you can use. So complete, laid out, this whole wireframe, and then as well as just like general templates. If you want, it's available on this. If you just go to the link in my description, you can get it for yourself. Then I also have this other YouTube video, grading e-commerce welcome flow emails. So I take a look at welcome email flow number one. Welcome email number one in the welcome flow, and then I review them, grade them, and kind of explain what I would do differently. So highly recommend checking out that video for more context on this email. Now let's go to email 2, which is the brand story. So the purpose, we want to give some background to bring the customer closer to the brand and bought into the mission. So content, founding story, mission statement, show a face if possible. Put a face to the name, you get that personal feel. And then reminder the discount. So we really want to use a face here. We just want to make sure that you aren't just a corporate brand that's just like, nobody wants to get behind like a corporate brand. So you really want to make sure that like you're proving that like you have this small company feel. It's really going to help with conversions. People love to support these types of brands. Nobody wants to buy from like these massive corporations. But these people haven't purchased yet, probably because you are a faceless brand that they randomly stumbled across in an ad. That's probably why they haven't purchased. So we want to slowly get them to believe that you are a real brand with a real mission and get them acclimated to you. We want to earn trust points and then remind them of the discount. This email will make sales, but the real purchase is going to be to prime them for some purchases down the line. So here's a great email example. I've referenced this email multiple times, but this is just like perfect. This is perfect. So you can see there's just a brief headline, our story, unique selling proposition. If you're reading this, you've probably had trouble finding snacks that are portable, nutritious, and actually taste good. For years, we did too. So they're insinuating that that's what they do. They have snacks that are portable, nutritious, and taste good. And then just a brief brand story, 2 sentences. We're Michelle and Tobias, face to the name. Oh my goodness, like this makes you want to buy from these people. This is a massive company, but this makes you want to buy from them because it's like, look at this cute couple. Awesome. So this is super effective. So why the brand was made. We're a nature-loving duo. Like, oh my goodness, they're making you emotionally attached to them. Like, this is perfect. But you really just want to put a face to the name. And then body section, give the mission statement down at the bottom, and then encourage a purchase. And then if you have a discount, include the discount right here, and then the button. Photo of a brand aesthetic helps. This brand didn't have a discount, but it should be right above the button if you do have it. And then maybe add like a banner right at the top as well. That could be effective. But this is going to be a really good email to prime people for purchases. But really the point of this is we want them to believe that we want people to get behind your brand and just make it known that you aren't a corporate brand that's just going to like take your money and run away with it. Again, I have this subject line examples in the free Google Doc copy outline for all of these emails that we're going over. And then we have email 3, which is the bestseller. So bestsellers email, show off your bestsellers and give background as to why you stand out from your competitors. Content, super simple. We're just going to highlight a bestseller, explain why it's so good, and then of course remind of the discount. All of these emails, we are reminding of the discount. People need to be reminded. One of my biggest pet peeves is when people have welcome flow emails that don't mention the discount. Like, why? Why would you not mention the discount? We want to remind them every single time. But with the bestseller email, some more background to it. The consumer is very funny because they want choices. They ask for choices, but they hate making choices. It's so funny. It's so funny. You give somebody so many options, they don't want to pick any of them. It's just like when somebody asks, like, what do you want to eat for dinner? You're just like, oh, I don't know, I'll have whatever. It's just, you want to know that you have choices, but you hate making choices. So essentially we want to make the decision for them by giving them one or a few options to choose from. And we actually want to go into depth as to why this bestseller is so good. This is going to help you stand out. And this is, again, is going to prime people for purchases down the line. Because if you have awesome qualities for your bestseller, it's going to apply to all your products. Then of course, remind them of their discount. So here's a full email example. This was a highlight on this one flavor by Goodles, and this is just amazing copy. But this was kind of like a more general bestsellers email, but you can apply this to like a specific bestseller. Like if you sell clothing, it's like a specific shirt like this one. You could make the shirt right here and talk about its unique selling propositions, and then lead here and use this exact layout. So first, an eye-catching headline. we're cooking up a gooder noodle. It's science, y'all. Header photo, this was actually a GIF that spins around these bowls. Super engaging. Some unique selling propositions. Quick, would you rather choose mac that's delicious or mac that's made with 21 plant-based nutrients? Why not both? So something you could do like for a t-shirt like this is something similar, but talk about how the material is made from the forests of the Amazon rainforest, made by a spider of silk. I don't know. Something like that. You could say something like, would you rather have a brand that makes their shirts in factories, or people who hand make them in custom warehouses located in the Northeast United States, a Papa and Son business, something like that, where it's like, we're different and this is why our product is cool. So that's what they did here. They talked about mac and cheese that's delicious and has plant-based nutrients, and then they made it a little funny. And then the body section. So we want this to just show the product, intro the unique selling proposition. I'm going to go into exactly why. In-depth explanation as to why it's so good. We don't just want to mention it. We want to talk why is it so good? 15 grams of protein, 6 grams of fiber, prebiotics, and then organic veggies and other plants. Perfect. But notice how this isn't so long. We're not doing sentences. We're not writing an essay. We're keeping it brief. And then a reminder of the discount, of course, and then a button at the bottom. Perfect. I would probably put a button right here also, so that you have two buttons, one button at the top of the email, one at the bottom. This is perfect in terms of a bestseller outline. Kind of a simple one, but in terms of design, but this is going to be really effective. And if you can do some copy that's similar to this, it's really going to help with your conversions as well. And next up, we have email 4, which is going to be a specific reminder on the coupon. The purpose of this is going to be to introduce urgency and remind the customer of their discount to try to get them to buy on the spot. So the content, going to add some urgency, give some risk reversals, and then give some testimonials for trust. That's kind of what we want to do in this email to get that impulse purchase and to get people being like, oh, goodness, I should buy now. So the customer knows a bit about your brand and believes you are legit if they've seen these other emails. So we need to introduce urgency to get them to cross the line. Add some social proof and risk reversals, and this is going to crush. So here's an example. We can see just a simple header section. Still want this discount. Here's the discount code, shop now, and then here's some testimonials. This is a very solid outline. This could be improved by adding some risk reversals, such as a risk-free guarantee. We offer free returns, things like that. That would improve this email, but we can dive in here to the outline. So headline addressing the discount. This is just super simple. Still want this discount. Add some urgency. Friendly reminder that your discount code is expiring. We don't offer discounts often, so take advantage while you can. See, this is perfect because this is killing two birds with one stone. This has two effects. So friendly reminder that your discount code is expiring, urgency. And then 2, we don't offer discounts often. Even further urgency, and that positions your brand as we don't offer discounts. We're not like a discount brand. So that's a line that's going to be very effective in your marketing as well. And just look at how massive this button is. You'd have to be, even a blind person could click this button on their phone. This pretty much takes up the whole screen. And so look at that. That's just, I absolutely love it. Big button, awesome. It's going to be super easy to click, and I'm sure this button has a ridiculously high click rate because it's just so easy to click. And then the body section, there are a lot of different ways that you can do the social proof section. And this brand decided to do just show individual products and then give discounts for each individual product. So discounts, testimonials for each individual product. This is going to work really well as well. And you can see they also have a shop all products at the bottom to say maybe they didn't like any of these products, that they'd be curious in learning more. They have a shop all products section at the bottom. What's really going to take this email over the edge is adding the risk reversals, kind of as I mentioned. Mention that you offer free shipping. Mention that you have guaranteed a satisfaction guarantee, you free returns, things like that. That's going to help some people get over the edge as well. So this is going to be a very effective email. It's going to kind of pick up a lot of the sales in the back half of the flow. Next, email 5 is us versus them. So the purpose, we just want to address up front and lay out the facts for the customer so that they can see the full story. So the content, address the competitors versus you, where you guys stand, how you differ. Outline your unique selling propositions, and then distinguish your brand from others. So kind of when somebody joins your brand, the elephant in the room is your competitors. Why should someone go with you versus someone else? Because in the age of e-commerce of 2024, there's thousands of brands in every niche. So why should someone go with you? And people just love pros and cons, and people love to make decisions by themselves. So that's what we're providing them, with both pros and cons and the ability to make the decision for themselves. But obviously, we're going to make the decision very easy for them. So this is a full example here. This is super clean, just on a wide lens. You see we have a header section, we have a body section, a testimonial for social proof, discount reminder, and a shop now button. That's perfect. Could even be improved if you add a shop now button earlier in the email. But look at that. There's also a discount reminder at the top. That's super effective. So hero section, here's what this outline was. Discount banner, then the brief headline, why we shine, how we're different, us versus them, something like that. And then 5 points addressing the competitors versus us. So you can see like thoughtful gift options versus like standard food delivery, ease of ordering versus complicated ordering, personalization with non-customizable. Notice how these are super quick points, because people aren't going to be reading a ton of information. People don't want to read essays. They don't want to read paragraphs in the emails. We just want to give them just like quick 1 to 3 words. These are our points and kind of what our brand is built off of. In the body section, unique selling proposition. So we're kind of extending on this a little bit. We're delivering more than a meal. Here we are taking gift giving to a whole new level, bringing gourmet meals straight to your door. Corporate retreat, anniversary, or any of life's big moments, a thoughtful meal to supplement the occasion is always appreciated. Banger. Emotional, talks about what makes your brand like so effective and why somebody should order. And then social proof, quick testimonial. Use the service for the first time. My client said the food was great and the service was just wonderful. I would definitely use this again. Nice little personal touch. And then discount, and then shop now button. Look at that. Perfect us versus them email. You can do a simple table or something like a little bit more advanced like this. That's going to be effective. And this was actually an email that our team put together. So you can see it's kind of everything that I talk about all in one email. So very effective email here. This is going to help prime customers for purchases down the line as well. Subject line and Google Doc available for all of these emails. So now email 6, heavy social proof email. So the purpose, further prove your brand is reputable and that your products create happy customers. So if we want the customers to get one thing out of the welcome flow, it's that you are a legit brand and your products are good. So the content, brand testimonials, media features, any content that proves your brand is legit, let's just throw it into an email or create an email that's like specific to one of them, like specifically brand testimonials or specifically media features, something like that. We just want email 6 to be social proof. We want to make sure the customer knows our product and brand is great, and because maybe they don't have a strong need for your product right now, and that is fine. They do need to know that our product will fulfill that need once the time comes. So someone's going about their day. Say you sell Band-Aids. I don't know. You have a Band-Aid company. Somebody stubs their toe. We want, when that person's looking for Band-Aids, we want us to come to mind and them to be like, I know this brand is good. I know they have awesome Band-Aids. I'm just going to order for them. So by creating a whole email out of this, it's going to prove that we're confident in our product and we'll stand by it. So that alone says a lot if you just send a full social proof email. Even if the person doesn't open the email, they see we created a whole email out of this. Awesome. They're a legit brand who stands behind their product. So here's a full email example as well. You can see we have just everything is social proof here. It's just testimonials. And so going into the specifics here, and then there's some icons here for some risk reversals. So we have header section. There's an outline that you can use again. Discount banner at the top. Use this discount and save this, and then a strong header testimonial. Look at how high up this button is in the email. Perfect. So looks fantastic on the car. This is the second Audi I've had, and both times I've ordered the honeycomb grill. Comes out great and looks fantastic on the car. Perfect. That's going to be an awesome thing for people to see right when they open their email. And look at the reviews for this brand. 4.94 out of 5 on 1,245 reviews. That is just killer. And so actually visualizing that for the customer, only 1 3-star and 0 2-stars and 0 1-stars, and then all these 5 stars. That's just exceptional. So this is a great way to like actually show your visualize how awesome you are. So that can be something. Start off with testimonial at the top in a graphic, add another graphic on the testimonials or social proof, and then give some verified customer reviews. So it's actually going to improve your conversions if you say verified on the customer review. If you have a verified reviewal platform that does your reviews, you putting verified next to a customer's name just improves the conversions. It's something we've tested. So listed testimonials works effectively well. And then a bottom button. The bottom of all your emails, you must have a button, just because people will go to the bottom of your email, and now what? We want to make sure that if they're in the buying mood or in the browsing mood, we have something for them to do. And then risk reversals as well. So secure payments, fast and free shipping, and then premium 100% quality. It's an interesting icon, but that's kind of everything that you need there. Really great email here. This is going to be super effective because people are visual and they're not reading a lot in the email. So by giving a graphic that shows your testimonials and whatnot, it's going to work really well. And then email 7, we have last chance. So purpose, give the customer a last chance to use their discount to try to get them over the edge. So the content of this, time or urgency based graphic, your discount is expiring. Let's just keep it simple. Make it super easy for the customer to click and just really go hard on the urgency. This is your last chance. So at this point, the customer has pretty much all the info they would need to make a purchase. And most of your audience probably would buy from you. Now that they're on email 7, most of them would buy from you, but they're waiting for the right time to do it. By going hard on urgency, we kind of force their hand, because it's like, if you don't buy now, you won't have this discount. So we're forcing their hand because at this point, these people know that you have a good product and they'd benefit from your product. So here's a great example here. You can see just like the basis of this email. Super simple, super simple. Your last chance, $10. So here's like kind of the outline. Last chance headline, simple graphic of your products, and then extreme urgency body copy, and then button. And then social proof and info icons, always great to throw in, especially on these urgency-based emails. These social proof things are going to really help with conversions. So your last chance at $10 off your first order. Use this discount code, super clear where the discount code is, what it is. Use this code at checkout for $10 off your next purchase before your offer expires forever. So very effective in inducing the urgency. So great email here. Super simple. Your last chance. Here's your discount. Claim now. So you had this last chance email. Now let's send one last email where it's like, okay, is everything okay? You went through this full welcome flow. Do you have any questions about the product? And let's give that personal feel again. This is going to come from the founder. So purpose, to give a personal reminder and last chance message that really lets the customer know we care about them. So the content is going to be a text-based email. We want to remind them of the discount and then offer some resources for them. For some context, the customer didn't purchase right off the bat. That is okay. Most won't. If your welcome flow converts 20% of people, that is a very, very good welcome flow. Typically, kind of like bare minimum that you want to shoot for is like 10%. 10% is like kind of the gold standard. So even with like a gold standard welcome flow of 10%, 90% of people won't purchase. And that's just okay. We want to be able to get a few more over the line with a nice personal touch text-based email. But for the 90% that aren't going to buy, we want to prime them for future purchases even further. Because if we're sending a message from the brand owner, and if this person knows that the brand owner is willing to reach out to them, then they're going to be primed for another purchase or primed for a purchase. And they may have further questions. So we want to let them know that they can reply to the email and ask them, because maybe if we let them know that you can reply to the email, it's as simple as reply to this email and we'll get back to you. Maybe that objection will get addressed. They ask the question, we address it, and then they make a purchase. So here's a full email example. Hey, hope our previous emails have been a warm welcome to our brand's commitment to quality. I noticed you didn't use your welcome discount, which you may have overlooked. Since you're new to the club, I want to extend our welcome code for one more day. Use this code at checkout for 10% off before it's gone forever. Shop now. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. We pride ourselves on exceptional customer service. We'll be sure to respond within 24 hours. Cheers. Look at that. Brief intro, reminder of discount code with urgency, and then offer some more support and welcome them to reach out. So a lot of things kind of like addressed in this email. Kind of right off the bat, we want to add the urgency. So you didn't use it, which you may have overlooked. I extended it for 24 more hours. Or extended it for one more day. heavy urgency, and it's like this is coming from the founder. You can see the name is from the founder. Super effective. And then if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Awesome customer service, responds in 24 hours. This is really going to get a lot of people to purchase. So great email here. Kind of can be as simple as that. These text-based emails are going to be, once you put them into your strategy, they're going to be some of the highest performing emails that you have, just because that personal touch really goes a long way. And also the simplicity. Look at how easy it is. There's only one thing this person can do, and it's click the Shop Now button. It's super clear for them. It's blue. It stands out. Simple. There's no fluff. And so that's why these text-based emails work really well. So again, subject line examples and free Google Doc outlined there. So now let's talk about post creation. So if we look down here, we have how to install your flow inside of Klaviyo. So here's a trigger and filter that you want to use. Whatever your pop-up is, whatever you set the list as once people enter the pop-up. Right now, for this brand, it was set to newsletter, so that's what we have the trigger as once a profile subscribes to newsletter. Then you want to make sure that you have the flow filter. So when it's placed orders 0 times since starting this flow, you can also do 0 times over all time, just to be sure that past purchasers aren't getting this flow. So there's a video tutorial here if you want to know how to set it up in Klaviyo, the exact trigger and filter. You can access that in the description. So then we can talk about how to optimize over time. So big problem here is you have ecom stores that just will set and forget their welcome flow. So that's kind of like what these people look like. Come on, do something, Klaviyo. Whereas stores who A to B test and add winning campaigns to their welcome flow, they're throwing money. So you're bound for failure if you just set and forget your welcome flow after you create it, because nothing is perfect on the first go. We all know this, but for some reason we don't act on it. This is why you always need to be testing. These tests aren't going to change your business overnight. That's okay. But 5% by 5%, these results will start stacking up and you'll see a noticeable jump in the long run. See if you can take a welcome flow. Say you're a brand that does 100K a month, 10K comes from the welcome flow. If you increase 10% every single month, it's going to be an extra $1,000 in the compound effect. 10% every single month. Then after 2 years, that's going to be a lot of revenue for you. So important A to B tests that you're going to want to run are subject lines and preview text in the welcome flow, your welcome offer. So instead of doing $10 off, try 10% off, things like that. Things like free shipping on your first order, things like get a free X item with your first order, things like that. Also, what products are featured in your email. So in the best sellers email, try changing up the products that are in there. If you inserted products anywhere else in the flow, try out different products, see if the customer prefers a different entry product than what you may have guessed. Then we have text-based emails versus graphic-based emails. So you can try using text-based emails earlier on. Maybe for email 2, the Our Story email, a text-based email performs better. That could be something to test. You can test linking to specific products versus linking to collections. These are all things that you want to test and are very important, and you should be doing on every email. So here's instructions on how to set up A to B tests with flows in Klaviyo. A couple different ways you can do it. I like to do it by doing a conditional split, just because the numbers are easier to look at. But if you want, there is a video here showing instructions how to do it. Now we're talking about the easiest way to optimize your welcome flow over time. It can get a little bit tedious to set up all these A to B tests in your flow, so it's going to be important to save some time. The easiest way to optimize your welcome flow over time, it's also saving the most time, is adding successful campaigns to your welcome flow. As I said, I'm all for efficiency, finding ways to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. One way to do this is by using successful campaigns in your welcome flow. So as we talked about earlier, you should be sending 3 to 4 email campaigns per week to your list, and these campaigns should be mostly non-promotional. As you test out new angles in your campaigns, you should be monitoring these results, and if one campaign absolutely crushes, add it to your welcome flow. Because if it worked in your campaigns, then you probably want to show all your new customers who are entering into your brand to see that as well. All you have to do is take this campaign and add a sentence in the copy that says use code XYZ for XYZ off your first order. And then plug it somewhere in the flow or replace one of the lowest performing emails in the flow. It's going to save you a ton of time. It's going to allow you to optimize over time, and you're not having to create any new emails. So some campaign angles to try out that will work well in the welcome flow are things like myths versus facts in your industry. So common misconceptions, blog promotion, maybe a blog people particularly like, a specific product spotlight, a specific testimonial spotlight, a customer story, product restock. You can enter that into the welcome flow if you constantly have stock coming in. These are campaign angles that you can try out, and then if they perform well, use them in the welcome flow. So metrics to shoot for, that's also available. All the metrics in terms of open rates, click rates, revenue, that's available in the doc in the description as well. But that is it for this one. Thank you so much for watching this or reading. I hope you got some value from it in the welcome flow. Tons more videos are going to be uploaded here on my YouTube channel, similar type of content. So yeah, continue to subscribe, like if you got some value, comment some other stuff that you'd like to see, and I'll continue to make some content. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.